점프 장난 아닌데? 좋았어. 헤드샷 일석이조.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
뭐야?
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from all sides. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
헤헤헤헤. 총알 다 썼다. 오, 있네. 아이고.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
왜 증기선이? 그리고 진실의 조각이 왜 이 근처에 있지? 2층 있나? 이런 데 있을 것 같은데. 보통 뭐 상자 같은 데 있더라고.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me. I can kill you with either hand.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
뭐야? 틀린 건 있잖아. 그래 여기. 안돼 안돼. 계단 내려가기 전에 사살하자. 대사 왜요? 어떤 대사? 항복하는 건 내 취향이 아니거든.
right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
자경대장 배신했구만.
The Daltons had played me
Not so
like a
tough after
fiddle.
all, is it?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
Talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsafe.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys.
뭐야?
But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
What I'm-
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big.
실제로 당시에 이제 비교됐던.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsafe.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all. Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
뭐요? 아이고. 저 키 작은 얘부터 먼저 해야겠다. 아이고. 자, 집중해, 집중해.
They got it
아,
wrong.
불명예스러움.
A sad end for those two.
아,
If they'd only
불명예스러움.
known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds.
먼저 뽑았어. 이.
Paroled
아이.
14 years later. He moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day
에이, 먼저 뽑아버렸다.
and the tragic death of his two
에이, 어쩔 수
brothers.
없어. 불명예로 클리어했다. 아하.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
와일드 번스.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy."
캬.
Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
복수극이었어. 단순한 현상금 사냥꾼이 아니었다는 거지.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have
근데 허세가
slowed me
있긴 한것
down.
같은데.
Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing. Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
Is that Silent Green? Come and get me, you got the guts!
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. First, I would need to get my ass out of there.
저기가 길이야? 반대쪽 한번 가보자. 그렇지. 반대쪽 가면 그런 게 있어. 어? 뭐지? 아,
Who's that son of a bitch? Is that goddamn Pinkerton? Show yourself, coward!
그래도 진실 조각은 찾고 가야겠지. 이번엔 어디 있을까? 여긴 아닌 것 같고. 저 위쪽? 아, 어디 있을까? 다이너마이트 한번 가자. 진실 조각이 아니라 이야기와 점점 멀어지고 있다. 이거네. 그나저나 퀵슈터 말고 딴 거를 좀 챙겨가야 되는데. 그렇지, 레인저.
Jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
You hear me?
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.